Hey everybody, today I'm going to start a new series called Quick Tips, and this video series is going to be very basic level mixing, recording, producing techniques for people who want to create covers. And these are things that I wish I had known when I first started recording my covers and that I use every single time I make one. So I'm going to go do basic information about it, and then I will provide links to professionals who describe these things in the description so you can go more in depth if you'd like, and use these techniques in your covers. So let's begin. I apologize if I'm a little all over the place. I'm trying to get this workflow down. So let's pretend you're going to record your cover with your microphone and voice as one thing and then your instrument separately. So you've got your microphone, you've got it plugged into your interface. And then on your interface, you've got your microphone gain, which is how loud your voice is in your microphone. So you can turn it down, so it's really soft, and then you can turn it up so it's really loud. But you want to find the sweet spot. So say you're listening by ear and you're like, okay, that sounds all right. So now we're going to go into our DAW, our digital audio workstation. This can be Logic Pro, this could be GarageBand, this could be Audacity, this could be any of those programs. And in our DAW, we have our mixer with our meter to show us how loud the input signal is. And you can see this down here in the bottom left. It's moving as I'm talking because it's a live signal from my microphone. Right now we're in the green, and then if you talk too loud, it gets into the yellow and then up into the red. So on the digital scale, the loudness meter goes from negative infinity, being complete silence, up to 0 dB. Anything above 0 dB is no. It is clipping. That will sound bad, and you never want that to happen in any of your music. Now, in the mixing phases of things, we never want to go past negative 6 dB. So when you're mixing your track before you go to master it, you never want it to go past negative 6 dB. Any of the sounds in your track. This is so that you have what we call headroom in your master to turn up your whole entire mix to get it as loud as you would hear as something on the radio. So that headroom is very important. But without any of that in mind, let's say you're just going into your DAW and you're recording your vocals. So I want my vocals to be as loud as possible because I'm like, okay, vocals are always loud in songs, so let me try to get it to as loud as it can be without clipping, which would be, around 1 or 2 or even up to 0. So I record, and I'm going to turn this extra gain on just to show you what that might sound like. And we play it back for you. I don't think I love you no more. And you're like, okay, that's plenty. Like if we look right now, it says negative 3.5. That's pretty close to 0. That's really loud. That's great. Like that's what I want. But that is indeed not the case. So let me just explain to you a little bit about the loud parts and the soft parts of this track here. You can see in this waveform we have really high, vertically high parts that are loud and small parts that are soft. So if we draw that in the air, we've got the low parts here on the right and the high parts here on the left. So if we say, okay, if it's too loud, I'll just turn it down using this knob here. I can just, turn down the vocals and it'll get softer. But that's not the case, because if you just turn it down with that knob, what you're doing is you're turning it all down. So those loud parts in relation to the soft parts are still going to be a lot louder, meaning you're totally not going to hear the soft parts. You might as well just throw them away. So what we need to do is use compression. So what compression does is it takes a threshold that we set. So let's say we set our threshold at negative 20 dB. And what that does is anything louder than negative 20 will get turned down. So we keep our lows still low, but we turn down the high parts so that they become more even. So we have a more flat, even sound. And then what we can do after we even it out with compression by turning the loud parts down is then turn the whole entire file up so we can still hear each one equally. So this is important. So when we go to record our vocals, we want to shoot for around negative 12 without any compression. So just your dry vocals through your microphone into the computer, you want to shoot for about negative 12, between negative 12 to negative 16. Let's play that back and see what that would look like. I don't think I love you no more. You never see. Boom, right there. There's some louder parts, so it'll probably be around negative 12. But we can see negative 16 That's perfect. It sounds really soft right now. You're like, okay, I want to turn that up. We want to get that to as close as -6 as possible combined with our instruments before we master our track. So let's go ahead and throw in our compressor. And I'm not going to go in depth on what the compressor does. You saw the description of compression, and I'm not going to go over the little knobs. I can do another one of these videos on that if you'd like. Leave a comment below. What's important here is what we just described as our threshold. So in the meter, what you're seeing is how much that signal is being turned down at that moment in time. That's what you'll be seeing here on the meter. So let's say we set our threshold to -30. So anything louder than -30 will be turned down. Now, how much it's being turned down and how quickly it's being turned down is being determined by these knobs, which I can go over in another video. But let's just play it and see at how much it's compressing. I don't think I love you no more. You never seem to call me lately. Girl, I don't think you know me at all. So at that at all, you can see that this goes up to about -6 dB. So it's decreasing the loudness by -6. So, and you can see during the soft parts,
You never seem to call me lately.
it's hardly doing anything. And this is important because we want those to stay as loud so we can even it out. So let's just turn it up a lot. Let's turn it up a lot. Let's turn the threshold to -40, meaning anything higher than -40 is being turned down.
I don't think I love you no more. You never seem to call me lately. Girl, I don't think you know me at all. And I never thought I'd have to say this.
So you can see in our output, it used to be -16. But when we turn up the threshold and compress the highs,
I don't think I love you no more. You never seem to call me lately.
we've now added 6 dB of gain without actually turning up the track at all. If we need to turn up that track even more, if it's still too soft, you can use the makeup gain to do so. All right? So that's going to be it for this video. This will make your mixes sound much more even in terms of vocals, and you'll be able to hear the soft parts a lot better after this. Now keep in mind, your instruments, your vocals, all of the things in your track during your mix before you master it should never go past -6. So don't turn up those vocals so that it goes up to 0 because you want to leave that room for us to master it and make a really great sounding track. I hope that makes sense. Once again, I apologize if I'm a little bit all over the place. I'm trying to go through these things quickly but cohesively so you guys can understand it. Let me know how I did. Be honest with me. Say, okay, this is cool. I want more of these videos. I don't want more of these videos. And check the description for all of the links related to this topic that I would recommend. So I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you had a great Tuesday.